People need an income that's guaranteed to them.
If you lose money to taxes, you're never getting that money back.
You need to get serious about adding some lower risk.
Greed. I don't like greed.
The thing to be afraid of, honestly, is the thing that we're not thinking of, the Black Swan event.
There's a tsunami coming. Bye.
Welcome to Retirement Coffee Talk with Charisse Rivers.
Just coffee talk.
There's a lot of noise, a lot of chatter. Who do you listen to? Who do you not listen to? You have to stay focused.
A fun and informative look at the issues of wealth, retirement, and protecting your life savings.
These advisors out there that were trained to sell, and have all these fees. They don't want to talk about this product, so they make less money.
And now, Retirement Coffee Talk with Charisse Rivers.
Hello again, and welcome to Retirement Coffee Talk with Charisse Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. Online, zinniawealth.com, Zinnia wealth.com. That's as hard as it gets today as far as the spelling class is concerned, because the rest of it's going to be real easy. It's sit down with Charisse and let's plan your retirement. How are you doing today?
I'm great. My doctor said I had the trifecta of colds that came out this season, because over 2 months I got all 3 viruses that were out. So it has been an interesting season. I'm thinking, what is this me? My immune system? Is this like natural? He's like, a lot of people, it's going on. So I'm praying to God I don't get that flu A to make it a quadrifecta or whatever it is.
You're just such an overachiever in everything, Charisse.
No, it's not it. People like to bring it in. It's been a busy holiday season, but anybody get that rhinovirus? That thing's stuck around too long. But other than that, I am chippery, doing great. Back to the swing of things.
Good.
To the new year. It's all the New Year's resolutions are still on track, and
good.
Feeling good about health and wealth and growing and doing stuff with the kiddos, and what we got to do.
Well, along with that, we're starting a new year with a brand new event that might set you on a brand new course for your life.
Yes.
And it's the Ocala Leadership Conference, which is coming up on Friday, January the 30th. You can find us online at ocalaleadershipconference.com. And this is a whole bunch of speakers coming in, not only to motivate you as a person, but also to motivate you as an employee or an employer. A lot of really good speakers here.
It is exciting. So we're getting so close. And I've spoken to quite a few of the speakers. Are excited to be here. And a lot of people say, why Ocala? How in the world did you and your team get all these speakers here on one day, to have Ryan Leake, John Maxwell, John Gordon, Chad Robichaud, Damon West. I mean, we have Olympic athlete coming, Shantae Lowe. Like, it's crazy. And it took a lot of work by the team, and it's been so much fun. And they just know Ocala's growing, and they've heard so many things. They want to be here. They want to represent. They said they're so used to going to Orlando and Tampa and Vegas and Jacksonville. They're all tickled pink to be here, and amazing city, and they're watching the growth here, and they want to be part of it. And so they're as excited to be here as we are, which is so fascinating to me, actually, which is a breath of fresh air. And if you're falling off the ship there on your New Year's resolutions, as I say, hang in there, because this event, January 30th, is at Meadowbrook. It is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is going to set the sails for the rest of the year. If you're dealing with complicated people, you're going to want to learn some stuff from Ryan Leake. If you're trying to do things in your office, power of positivity and culture, if you're working for somebody, John Gordon is going to give you stuff to take back to your offices that you can give to your bosses, or if you're a boss, that you can hand down to your C-suite people, all the way to John Maxwell, who's going to talk about leadership. He is a king of leadership and what you need to get going, to so much more, you all. So again, if you decide you want to come, go to ocalaleadershipconference.com. There's a special code. If you type in Coffee Talk, you'll get $100 off. And this is the first ever event. You do not want to miss it. And there's still some seats available.
Yeah, I think it's as exciting as it is to hear all these great people coming to Ocala at the same time. I think it's just as exciting to think of who's going to come to this event. It's going to be people who are in our community, who are real movers. They're people who are involved in the future of our community. And you want to have connections with those people. So as much as it's an event to sit and listen, it's also an event to sit and mingle and meet new people. And I think that's really important.
Yes, and rubbing shoulders with locals this is where you find future mentors. If you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking for something to better guide you, whether it's business or personal growth or spiritually, this is the place to start meeting those people because they will be here.
All right. January 30th, it is 9 to 5. That's a Friday at Meadowbrook Church. And you can go online, OcalaLeadershipConference.com. There's a big button there. It says Get Tickets. You click on that, and immediately you're going to see a thing that says Enter Code. And if you put Coffee Talk in there, you get $100 off your tickets. So check that out today, and time is running out. It's coming up right at the end of the month, just a couple weeks away. All right, so I wanted to bring this up. I have heard this comparison now probably a half a dozen times, so I wanted to bring it to you, and that is, if somebody says to you the Roaring 20s, you think of women who are, flappers and doing the Charleston and the Prohibition and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. But what's happening right now is people are looking at the Roaring 20s and they say, we're in the 20s right now, in the 2020s, and are there any comparisons? And apparently there's some eerie comparisons here, because the Roaring 20s started out with a pandemic in the late teens. It was the Spanish flu. And then there was this huge advancement in technology. People bought more on credit, personally and on Wall Street. There was inflation. There was a problem with the Fed. And there was a large gap between the ultra-wealthy and the average worker. Now, if you didn't know I was talking about the 1920s, you'd be thinking I was talking about the 2020s. It's very eerily the same. The topper was how this all ended, and that was, of course, the Great Depression. So people think that because they're so similar, we're on our way to that. So I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, do you make comparisons like that? I mean, that's 100 years ago, but I got to know that there's some things that, look kind of fishy in today's economy, make you feel a little uneasy. What do you say if somebody says something like this in the office?
100 years is a long ways to go back to, right?
Really is.
And things are different today on how we make money and who makes money and how fast we make money than it was back then, right? So I don't say that, hey, because things are similar today to the was back into the Roaring 20s, the same thing is going to happen. Because we've also learned some lessons along the way. We know how to recover from crashes faster. Doesn't mean it's going to happen the same way in the future. We also know what to look at when we're starting to see crashes, when PE ratios are super high or bond yields are backwards and upside down. And right now, people are buying a lot on credit, right? Interest rates are still higher than we've seen in history, even though they are coming down a little bit. I tell people when they hear these types of stories out there is, let's not compare our portfolios and what we're doing and our 5 pillars of our retirement plan based on what's happening in the 1920s. Let's base it on what's happening today and what we could see moving forward. Moving forward, we can't predict, but the what if. So when we're testing and stress testing your retirement plans, we're going to say, hey, if this crash comes in 3 years, and your stuff at Fidelity just took a bath and lost 30 or 40%, and you have 50% of your money in there, how much does that derail your income while it's in recovery mode, right? So we'll look at what today's day and age is doing and how fast potentially it could recover. But are we going to do what a lot of the people had to do back in those days? Because there wasn't an income plan. There wasn't this recovery phase where we had some money at risk, some money safe. Most people were just rather risky, right? Or had it in real estate or business as it was booming. And so nowadays, when you're working with a retirement planner like us, we're saying, okay, so if markets go down, mitts off, we won't touch these accounts, we'll touch these accounts to get your income, right? We're going to look at your investment portfolio, and you might say, hey, Sharice, I got $1 million here. And if 50% of my $1 million is in the stock market, and that 500 grand, that's 50%, loses 30%, Sharice, I'm not going to be very happy. So then we have to tweak that portfolio today, not knowing what's on the other side of the stock market here in a year or 2 or 3 or 4, right? And we want to make sure your risk tolerance matches you, not me, and it matches your pocketbook so that we always know where income checks are coming. So again, there's a lot of noise out there right now. There are red flags, yes, right? There's some positive things out there as well. But if you are not sure if your portfolio represents the 1920s or the 2020s, and you're not even sure what your risk level is, and you've never stress tested your income plan to see hey, where's my money coming from if my money in the stock market crashes? Then yeah, I think you have a problem, because I don't know how you gain confidence not knowing what's going to happen during the next crash, right? But still, we want growth along the way. We want to build income along the way, but we also want to build in protection strategies. And if you're not sure what that is and you just never heard this conversation, then this is one of the pillars that we work on in retirement planning.
So it's such a great point that you can come in with, hey, Sharice, I'm scared about this. Hey, I'm scared about that. Hey, I'm scared about this. So the answer really is, okay, let's stress test it. Let's put your current plan under as much stress as possible. We'll put it under taxes go up. We'll put it under inflation goes up. We'll put it under Social Security goes down. And we'll just put all that stuff in the pot and just stir it up and see what happens, what comes out. And if you don't like what comes out, that's why we have these exercises. That's why you do these meetings. Let's figure it out together. Here's the number and here's the website. It's 833-368-3680. Give Sharice a call and the team will put that stress test. We call it a portfolio x-ray. Find out first what's going on, what's working, what's not working, and how we can help. 833-368-3680 or the website ZinniaWealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com. Okay, so every week, every 2 weeks, we get a paycheck while we're working. Maybe it's once a month for you. But at the same time, when you get into retirement, you want to replace that paycheck. Okay, so how do you do that? And what are people doing in retirement who are doing it successfully? Well, the people apparently who are spending the most money in retirement aren't the people who are the most rich. They're the people who have guaranteed income. According to this study by J.P. Morgan, they found that if 60 to 80% of the income that you have coming in retirement, like Social Security, annuities, things that come in every single month, you will spend 44% more money in retirement. If you know that that bucket is going to get filled up every month, you'll spend it with confidence. You will enjoy your retirement more. So, Sharice, let me ask, when you put together your portfolios, how much is in guaranteed income? They're saying 60 to 80%. That seems high, but tell me, what's going on there?
Good gracious. Number one, that is a true statement. When you do have guaranteed incomes coming in, you tend to spend more money because it's there, it's sitting there, and you're finding yourself pulling less out of other accounts. Where a lot of people, if you just have Social Security checks, and now I'm pulling 4% from my portfolio, save $1 million, you got 50,000 Social Security, and now you're pulling 4% from your $1 million, which is 40,000. You're probably going to spend. This is what we've seen. This is the psychology of money and how our brains work. You're likely to spend less because you're taking it off the amount of money you have versus a plan that has your Social Security, that has a little guaranteed income that's always coming to you no matter what, that has maybe a dividend check and then that stock portfolio check potentially, whether the market's going up or down. So I, over 20 years nearly, have seen this to be a true thing. And you're asking me, how much do we put in those types? So believe it or not, it honestly just depends. If you have Social Security and a pension check, a lot of times you don't need to go to an insurance company to get that contractual guarantee because your Social Security check is an annuity. You get an income for life. Your pension, they just took your lump sum and put it into annuity. You're getting income for life. You very well only need to probably pull a percentage, 2 or 3 or 4 out of your investment portfolio. So, but we find those people who have that type of income, they are spending more and they're more peaceful at it because those checks show up no matter what the stock market's doing. And then we have clients that sometimes they only have Social Security. They've saved their $1 million and they're afraid to spend too much of that $1 million. So therefore they don't until they meet us. And we might say, hey, of that $1 million, let's figure out Social Security is going to cover all your fixed bills. Are there other fixed bills that we always need to pay for the rest of our lives where husband and wife are still living? And if there are, we'll sometimes park money into that annuity that drives that income for life for both of you right in there. So that could be $100,000, it could be $200,000 just to get you right to that happy medium. Because most people just say, give me enough money to cover all of my bills, the gas pump money, the food money, the light bill money, and then they know how to now proportionalize for their travel by using other assets. So it's a peace of mind kind of thing. Not all of our clients go down that road, but we do go down the safety road. So if you're somebody who does need that 4% from your $1 million, need that $40,000, we might not put it in an annuity, but we'll put it in something else that's safer so that those dollars are there in the future in case something does happen. So I do believe income makes the world go round. And I've seen happier clients that have pensions added to their Social Security check or that have those income instruments added to their Social Security checks because it gives them permission to spend it because it's going to keep coming whether you do or don't. And sitting and savings does nothing.
It should be one of your biggest questions as you sit down with a retirement planner, and that is, where does my paycheck come from? How much is my paycheck? What am I going to get on top of Social Security? Really, really an important question. Let's get that question answered for you. Here's our number. Here's the website. It's 833-368-3680, 833-368-3680, or online, ZinniaWealth.com, ZINNIA Wealth.com. There is a gold box there. It says complimentary retirement consultation. Just click on that and you'll be on your way. All right. So I saw something that just made me go, red flag, whoop, 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 dive, 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 danger, danger, Will Robinson.
What is it? Tell me, I'm dying.
All right. So somebody wrote into the advisor column, the Market Watch advisor column, and says, this advisor wants to do this with me. And I went, don't do it. And so we're going to throw it by Charisse. One of the things that I think is important about this show is you go out there and you try to find a financial advisor and they make a suggestion and you go, really? Huh? That doesn't sound right. Let's give you some viewpoints on that. That's coming up next on Retirement Coffee Talk.
You're working hard every day trying to move up and get better. Whether you're an employee or employer, you're looking for that spark, that mentor to help you to your next level of success. You're invited to the Ocala Leadership Conference Friday, January 30th at Meadowbrook in Ocala. You'll hear in person from some of the top leadership experts and speakers in the country. John Maxwell, Ryan Leake, John Gordon, and more. Learn how some of the most successful CEOs improve their decision-making, how to find, develop, and retain talented employees, and boost morale, leading to more productivity and profitability, and the opportunity to network with them and other leaders in our community. Friday, January 30th at Meadowbrook in Ocala. Tickets are on sale now and going fast. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. Go to OcalaLeadershipConference.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Coffee Talk with Charisse Rivers at Zinnia Wealth online, ZinniaWealth.com, ZINNIA Wealth.com. Hey, there's lots of other things that you can access here, too. You're listening to this show. Also, remember YouTube. Look us up there, Facebook, and check our website out as well, ZinniaWealth.com, ZINNIA Wealth.com. And go to the media page there. There's lots of interviews. There's lots of podcasts. There's lots of things. And even on the front page there, if you look under education, under useful guides, you'll see tons of stuff that you can download and work through that'll be just really focused in on where you are right now planning for retirement. Again, ZinniaWealth.com. Okay, so I like to go to the Market Watch Advisor column because people ask questions, and I think their questions might be your questions as well. This guy says he found an advisor who says he will do a Roth conversion for him, okay? But he wants to charge the guy $5,000 to do a Roth conversion. And
man, I would make a ton of money if I charged for that.
I know, because I know that you don't. And so then the other part of this is the reason he's charging $5,000 is he's got a secret. He's got a secret.
There's zero secrets out there.
His secret is that you don't have to pay taxes. You can do a Roth conversion and not pay taxes. And for that, I'll charge you $5,000.
Wow, that doesn't even smell right.
That doesn't smell right at all, because that's the whole idea. You're taking it from the taxable bucket and you're moving it to the non-taxable bucket, and you're paying the taxes along the way. That's a Roth conversion. How? Yeah. What is he talking about here?
That one's a tricky one. I don't have enough intel on that, but there's only a couple of things that can be happening here.
Okay.
This advisor is taking full advantage of this client. Number one, that is a for sure up thing. You can go anywhere. You can call the local Fidelity 1-800 number if you wanted to and say, hey, I want to roll my IRA to Roth, and they'll do it for free. Right. So why is somebody charging $5,000? This sounds like a Ponzi something or another. I don't even know what you would label this. So just buyer beware when you're shopping the market and somebody shows something like this to you. I'd be curious how much they're rolling over. I'd be curious if there was some other tax strategies built into it. Then I'd question those and double check them with the IRS and your CPAs, because it doesn't sound right. And the only other option would be this person is not using their full standard deduction. And let's say they can roll 5,000 of their IRA to a Roth, or let's say 10,000 of their IRA to a Roth, and they don't have to pay taxes because they haven't used all their standard deduction. They're just using remaining standard deduction, right?
Okay.
But is that worth a CPA or an advisor charging you $5,000? No. I mean, the information is great, but when it sounds too good to be true and it's going to cost you that much, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, exactly. And I heard one person try to figure this out and say maybe what they're doing is they're selling somebody an annuity, and then they're going to use a bonus on the annuity to pay the taxes or something like that. And that, to me, that's just misdirection. That's bait and switch. That's saying, I'm going to do one thing for you, but I'm going to do something completely different. And that's not being upfront and honest.
And I'm pretty sure that would be illegal to do.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm pretty sure you, as an insurance agent, you can't take a $100,000 IRA, roll it to an annuity in a Roth, and get a 20% bonus. That's 20%, because you can't take that money out of that annuity.
Right.
They pay now, pay later. That doesn't even make sense. So the client's still paying the tax bill. The person who's offering this deal is charging them 25, and it takes them 10 years to get that full 20% bonus out of it. Again, that doesn't even sound legit, right?
That really doesn't.
We're thinking through this, you guys, and so I'll have to dig in deeper. But if you have anybody doing that, call Zinnia Wealth, because I will talk you off the ledge and save you $5,000.
All right. We've got like a couple of minutes here before the end of the segment. So this brings up something that I think is the main part of this conversation, and that is if you sit down with somebody and what you're getting back feels not right, it makes your gut kind of go, really? Is that legal? Or they start saying, oh, you won't have to pay taxes. You can go, really? I don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. I think that if you feel that way, it's got to be more, Charisse, than going to Google and saying, is this right? You can start there. But I think that's why you sit down with an advisor and get a second opinion and say, this is what this person wants to do.
Not just any advisor. So every advisor on the block is going to help you with your investment portfolio. And they're going to charge you, let's say, 1%. But how many other advisors are going to help you with your investment portfolio, your income plan, your estate plan, your healthcare plan, and your tax plan for the same fee?
Right.
So you can't just go to any financial advisor. You have to go to the holistic advisor, and not all holistic is holistic. If they don't do tax plan, I'd take them off the holistic list, right? Because that's one of our specialties. I mean, we all do investment portfolios, right? But besides the income plan, the tax plan is critical. I mean, we had a lady come in that has $3 million in IRAs, and basically we're saving $700,000 in taxes by the time she's passed away, if it's 25 years from now, if she does our tax plan. I mean, that's a huge savings each and every year. And if you don't want your kids paying all the taxes on your IRAs and retirement accounts, this is why people come in to see us. But this is why this individual is rolling IRAs probably over to a Roth, because they want to have tax-free income for the future, or for their surviving spouse, or leave a tax-free legacy to their kids. Why else would you pay $5,000 to do a Roth conversion, an IRA over to a Roth conversion? So make sure who you're working with, they understand the entire retirement package, and they're not charging you more than the average of 1% to do it. And the beautiful thing about what we do here at Zinnia Wealth and what other advisors do in their offices, we all specialize in different things. We just happen to be one of those offices that specializes in the entire retirement package, because I talk about investment portfolios, but if you're talking to your advisor about healthcare and they're a deer in the headlights, healthcare is a huge cost for the next 20 to 30 years of your future of retirement. They better know how to talk to you about healthcare and long-term care and how that might affect your estate in the future, not just tax planning. So the biggest things in your world is your investments and the fees, your healthcare costs, and taxes to you, your surviving spouse, and your heirs who are going to receive these monies in the future. And if you can button those things down, you're going to save some money over time in retirement.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, how important it is to choose somebody to help you with your retirement planning, but to choose the right person for you. And that doesn't necessarily mean, we talked about stockbrokers in the past, it's all about growth and stock market. But when you get into retirement, then issues of Social Security and Medicare and 401ks and taxes, it all comes up. That's why we talk here about Sharice being in that particular area. Give her a call. Give her a look on the website, zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com, or 833-368-3680. We'll do what's called a portfolio x-ray for you. It's a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to find out what's going on with your retirement accounts. How can we help? 833-368-3680. Sharice, that is all the time that we have on this one. I'll give you the last word on this segment.
All right. Well, I hope you guys are hanging tight with those New Year's resolutions and goals and pushing forward for your future. And as usual, live by design and not by default. And we'll see you here next week.
This has been Retirement Coffee Talk. To find out more about how the strategies we've discussed on this program can build the retirement you've been wanting, call Zinnia Wealth at 352-368-3680 or visit us online at zinniawealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The firm only conducts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Insurance products are offered through Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC, Florida license L078655, and Sharice Rivers, Florida license P037744. Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, and Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC are affiliated entities. The information presented is believed to be current. It should not be viewed as personalized investment advice. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of the presenter on the date of the podcast and are subject to change. The information presented is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy or sell any of the securities discussed. You should consult with a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies discussed. Any legal or tax information provided in this podcast is general in nature. Always consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation. Any client experience discussed on this show are unique to that client. Annuity and life insurance guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. If you withdraw money from or surrender your contract within a certain time after investing, the insurance company may assess a surrender charge. Withdrawals may be subject to tax penalties and income taxes. Persons selling annuities or other insurance products receive compensation for these transactions. These commissions are separate and distinct from fees charged for advisory services. Insurance products also contain additional fees and expenses. Social Security rules and regulations are subject to change at any time. Always consult with your local Social Security office before acting upon any information provided herein. References to specific investments should not be construed as being past specific recommendations. The returns for various indices discussed in this podcast do not represent the performance of the firm or any of its advisory clients. Returns do not reflect the impact that advisory fees will have on an investment. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All investment strategies have potential for profit or loss. Different types of investments involve higher and lower levels of risk. There is no guarantee that a specific investment strategy will be suitable or profitable for an investor's portfolio. Historical performance returns for investment indexes and or categories usually do not deduct transaction and or custodial charges or advisory fees, which would decrease historical performance results. There are no guarantees that a portfolio will match or outperform a specific benchmark. Investments in fixed income products are subject to liquidity risk, market risk, index rate risk, credit risk, inflation risk, purchasing power risk, and taxation risk. Because bond prices fluctuate continually, their yields change constantly.